Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, June 14, 2022. Happy Tuesday, ATHLers. How are you all today? Hope you are fine. My name is Abby Tyler. I am a family nurse practitioner, content creator, and community health volunteer. I also want to take this time to welcome all our new followers and members as well. Thank you all for trusting me and joining this forum so we can go on this journey of health and wellness together. So as you can see, the title of the show is Swim Safety for Children and Adults. Okay, so I'm going to be going here. Let me just give me 2 seconds because I also want to make sure that everybody else is getting this show at the same time. Um, I'm looking and making sure my internet's working. Okay, 1 second. It's about 80 degrees. I think 80 degrees in my neck of the wood today. It's nice and breezy. It was a little hotter earlier, but it's nice and breezy right now. So it feels good. I'm happy. The weather is finally warming up and staying consistent. It's been raining a little bit, though. So I'm just looking here, trying to, because it's a slight delay when I come on. So ensure that. Mm, okay, and one more. Mm, Sorry for the delay there. Okay, here we are. So thanks for joining me again. I am going to put my glasses on so I can see better. Okay, thank you all for joining me. So let me go over to my reading from my notes here. Okay, so as you can see, the title is Safe Swimming for Children and Adults. Okay, first of all, let me start by giving my disclaimer. Whatever I say here doesn't take a place of you following your doctors and getting, your personal regimen from your doctor. So please don't change anything until speaking to them. Okay, so to start, swim safety for adults. Also, stay tuned for my commentary on the pool at the Invisible Park in Liberia. So that would be from my Liberian audience and audience are Liberians, friends of Liberia as well. So we'll start with safe swimming for children and adults. The weather's warming up right now. Everybody is going to the shore, the beach, the shore, going for pool parties and having fun hanging out with the friends. So this is the time of the year where also, like I said before, tragedies, emergencies don't just take a break because everybody's having a good time. So let me start with the statistic first. Okay, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 3,710 people drowned in the year 2016, including 719 children under the age of 15. In fact, drowning was the leading cause of unintentional death that's in children ages 1 to 4 in 2018. Furthermore, in 2018, drowning was the second leading cause of unintentional death in children ages 5 to 9. More drowning deaths occur during the summer months, particularly in July, than any other time of the year. And children can drown in less than 1 inch of water, so it is extremely important to exercise caution in the home, around a pool, or on vacation at a lake or an ocean. So you can see that's very, I mean, when you think about, I'm sure you've heard tragedies in your neighborhood. Some of you probably have experienced some tragedies with drowning for family members before. So, in order to prevent that and to keep the next child or adult safe, I'm just going to go over a few tips to go. Okay. And then, like I said, stay tuned for my commentary for later. Okay. So, some safety tips. All right. You want to always ensure that there's an adult supervision when children are swimming. Like I said, if you have a pool at your house or you went to somebody else's, you send your kids to somebody else's house or you're there with them, please make sure that somebody's always around. An adult is always around. Don't just say, okay, the older kids will take a look at them and keep them. Always want to make sure, even if the kids are more responsible, you always want to take the time to go out and just make sure that they're safe. Okay. Never leave a child alone in the water. Don't leave the child and go run inside to answer the phone or go run inside to see if the food's on the stove or something's, or you go open the doorbell. It takes seconds for things to tragically happen. Okay, never let a child swim alone. Teach them to use the buddy system, meaning that they should always have another person with them or somebody else around, preferably an adult. So if anything happens, no one person is missing. All right, never let a child swim during a storm. Also, for people who are talking about swimming safety and all that, I also when I think I spoke about this before. My kids, I don't know how to swim, so my kids we made sure that both my kids went to swim classes. They had like low income. It was low income. They have low income fees too, and they also have like it's not as in as like a professional swimming place, but the price is a little lower over the local YMCA, so you can teach them. They can go there and learn how to swim, take swimming lessons and all, because it's very important. If one person knows how to swim, at least that way, if anything, they can manage to help themselves out of the water while waiting for help. Okay, so you want to do that. Always make sure they have their life jacket on. If even if, especially swimming in the lake or an ocean, have their life jacket on. If they're not really good at swimming, if they're in the pool, that the little noodle things, those are not life support and all that, or jackets, swim jackets. So you want to make sure they have the actual flotation device on at all times. I know sometimes they'd be like, oh, who wants to wear that? Only babies wear that. Still, you want to keep them safe. So they'll keep, tell them and say, I'm trying to keep you safe. So explain this to them. So they'll get mad, but let them wear it. Okay. You're trying to save their lives. Alrighty. Make sure the depth of the water. Okay. If the kids are at a certain age, and also where their abilities and all, don't have them swimming too far in another part of the water, because it takes tragic seconds for tragedy to happen. So make sure you know your child, make sure you know their abilities and keep them there. Even if they go to a friend's house or they're not there, tell them, you don't know how to swim that well, or even that's the case, still, I want you to stay on that side. Okay, be very vigilant about keeping them safe. Be very vigilant. All right. Don't let the kids dive or jump in the water that's less than 9 feet. I said follow the rules wherever you go, whether it's the pool or at the lake or the ocean, wherever. Follow the rules. If they tell you no diving, no diving. Period. I've taken care of two young men now. They're like men now, but many years ago, both of them, there were two different times. One, they were at a pool and he had a pool party. They were all having a good time. He dove in, broke his neck from the neck down, and like completely paralyzed. Okay, another one in the ocean, went in there. We were running around, toying around, broke his neck also. So you know what I mean? So it's not just only death. You're talking about lifelong disability, and that can totally change the whole dynamics of the family. So you want to follow the tips. Also, you can talk to your pediatrician and get some information about that too. Okay, don't be chewing gum or eating while swimming. Don't swim right after eating either, because if you're full and you're chewing gum or you're eating and or you're taking in all that water, that is not safe. So make sure you've eaten, you're sitting there somewhere, you're relaxing when your food digests a little bit, and then go and swim. Keep a first aid kit around at all times. You can go back. I did a show on having a first aid kit. Make sure you go back and watch that. What you should have in that, and also have the number for what you have 911. Call 911, and have your doctor's number at all. But if anything should happen, emergency, you know you want to call 911. Learn CPR. I also explained the last time, stating that if you don't have to do any chest, you don't have to do mouth to mouth. Okay, if you call and now something happens and the person's not breathing and they have no pulse, the 911 person will be talking to you. You go straight for the chest compression. You don't have to worry about it, because now people are like, oh, I don't have a barrier, I don't want to put my mouth, because you can get like serious diseases just mouth to mouth. So you just go first with the chest compression. But it's important to learn some first aid tips, and also get your CPR, basic CPR. You don't have to do that, the one that we have to do in the hospital for advanced cardiac life support. Okay, have your child age 4 and under complete a swimming program. Like I said before, you want to do that. Enforce all pool rules, including no running, no pushing, no drinking, no dunking other swimmers, because kids like to do that, and you could dunk somebody who does not know how to swim, or you could push somebody who does not know how to swim, and there has been tragedies because of that too. So make sure you tell them that. Make sure to remove all the toys from the water after everyone is done swimming, because little kids, they see that, and they see the little floating device, little rubber duckies in the water when nobody's around. Then they climb up there and try to go get it, and that's when if you're not paying attention again. So make sure you clean everything out of the pool before you do that. And if your pool has a pool cover, make sure you're putting it back on the correct way, because they could still lay in there and just slip right in between. If there's any little strings in between where little holes, kids will find any way to get into the water. So you want to protect them as much as possible. At the ocean, you want to be careful of the other water current. I said that before. Sometimes you see the water, and even you have a lake, and when they tell you no swimming at a lake, and oh, nobody's around, we can go in the water, we can go in the water, nobody's there, nobody's watching. There's heavy undercurrent under that water. So usually they'll tell you, and the lifeguards in the ocean and all, they know how to test for the water current. They listen to all that. They will tell you when they start blowing their horns, come back, come back, come back. You want to do that because, and again, it don't swim anywhere when there's no lifeguard around, and don't swim in those lakes where they said no swim, because there's a reason why they tell you that. And most people, one person's in the water and you see them drowning, another person jump in to help the other person, and then they both drown. So it's important that you don't do that, especially for your adults, for your young adults and regular adults. As adults, we want to take chances, and younger adults will take more chances. So tell them that there's heavy undercurrent under the water. Do not go swimming if they tell you there's no swimming there. And as much as you be tempted to go and cool off in the hot summer months, do not do it. Okay. Don't overdo the swimming. If you're tired, and especially with your little kids, you see them tired and they're groggy and they're like over, because my son used to love going to swimming all the time, and he was so it's like, okay, let him take a break. Don't overdo it, because don't be too exhausted. Don't be too exhausted when you get in the water. And sometimes, I mean, if you're saying that you're too exhausted, and the chances are more than likely you're not going to be taking the time to get out and know when to get out, and you don't want to be tired while you're in the water to prevent any kind of problems, right? Limit your alcohol intake. For those of you who are adults now, limit your alcohol intake. For adults, people like, grown people, if you know you can swim and you never learned how to swim when you were younger, don't go to some pool party and try to show off. Just say, you know what, like, I go a party or I go to the ocean, I sit there, put my foot in the water, I go into the water, and where until my feet leave the ground. That's it for me. I'm not going back. I'm not going any further than that. And I will tell you, I'm like, no, no, I can't swim. I'm not going to make anything here. Okay. So if you have a pool at your house, make sure there's a clear view of the pool from your house, from the inside of the house. So that way, when you're sitting there, you can see everything that's going on. And even when you're outside, let's say you're playing, because I had heard a story before, people were in the house and then they just happened to look out. They thought that their child was playing, and they happened to look out and saw them floating in the water. So you want to be able to see the pool clearly. And every time when you're all done, making sure you go back in and check, make sure everybody's count everybody who was at your house that day, especially when you have other people's children at your house and your own children. Count everybody at your house, making sure everybody is there and out of the pool, and then close the pool. Okay, install a fence or a wall that is at least 5 feet high completely around the pool. Some neighborhoods have that. It's mandatory that you have certain amount of fencing around your pool. So your neighborhood doesn't mandate it, you want to do that, because you don't want to live with that guilt that you left something, and some kids, whether they were, their parents weren't watching them, or they just try to be rowdy little kids and came into your pool. You don't want that on your conscience. Okay, make sure any gate handles are accessible, not accessible to young children, making sure that they can just reach over and unlock it. So lock it and make sure, and then try it again, test it again, and keep the keys away from that. If you have to lock it, and keep the keys away from them, because children are curious. They will go looking. Okay, follow the manufacturer's directions for safe installation of the pool cover. Again, like I told you, that make sure it's there, because if it's not there correctly, if they climb up and they fall in, the same thing. Okay, keep all electrical appliances away from the pool area. You don't want anybody getting electrocuted. So if you're doing anything, you look around, you come in the morning, you open up the pool, make sure you tell them over and over and over again, do not put anything close to the pool. If you plug in something, because sometimes they will have other toys around that need to be plugged in or something like that, take it away. Right? To keep away all chemicals and anything else that you use to clean the pool, and cleaning supplies, keep it away from the pool. Okay. If you had an apartment complex, my son was, I wanted to bring him on here. He's like, no, I don't want to come on, mommy. So yeah, he was a lifeguard, and he was responsible. He worked for this company that sent him to different apartment complexes. So he knows how hard it is to work as a lifeguard. Alrighty. There's also something called drowning. It's like when it's dry drowning, sorry, and secondary drowning. It's like when you're swimming and you're taking a lot of water, you're drinking a lot of water, or you almost drown, and you manage to save you. You want to keep an eye on whoever it was. Children, especially for children, they take all that water and they're doing okay. They're like, oh my goodness, I almost drowned. I'm feeling so better, and they start coughing, and then they're fine. But then next thing you know, they go to bed, or later on in the day they start having problems breathing. You start the coughing and fever and all, you want to take that and call the doctor and take them directly to the hospital. Don't even say, okay, I'll wait for you. I'll wait till tomorrow morning and all, because by tomorrow morning it could be long gone, because the lungs, the water could have been completely from out the lungs, and then so you think, okay, well, they didn't drown, they were fine, or even nothing happened there. I just saw them were a little tired and dry heaving, and next thing you know, that problem. So if you notice that a couple of hours later, or even later on, check with them, call your doctor's office, go to the emergency room. Okay. So for me, I like I said, I can't swim. I think I told this story before, and another in my other forum, what I had just the other forum. It's a little funny story. I was over where at Sesame Place of all place, right? My kids and all were swimming and went to Lazy River. So we're sitting there, and I'm in the Lazy River, and then my inner tube is kind of like toppled over, and I felt myself go under, and I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God, somebody help me, please, somebody help me, please, 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 please. And the lifeguard, he must have been about 60 years old. He was just saying there, he's like, ma'am, just stand up. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm drowning, I'm drowning, I'm drowning. And of course, when you can't swim, you're panicking, you're not thinking straight. So I was like, he's like, no, just stand up. And I'm like, oh. And I was like, okay, fine. I just stood up. I think it was like on 4 feet. I moved forward. And I was like, oh, he's like, and I told my daughter, I said, how could I drown? She's like, how would you have drowned, mommy? You're taller, you stand up, you're taller than the height of the water. How can you? So that's to show you, if you can't swim, all of that can be very scary. And especially considering what if, that was like a, 4 foot, 3 foot, what if I was somewhere where like in the ocean and all. So it's important that if you can swim, stay close to it. And if don't try to show up in front of your boyfriend, don't try to show up in front of your girlfriend or other people who will be at the pool party. If you can't swim, you can't swim. Just go ahead and have yourself a good time. Okay. So I am about 60 minutes already. So my commentary on the pool situation in Liberia. So this is for my Liberian audience and friends of Liberia. So I'm going to just show this here, since as a clinician, and everybody, I've been commenting on all the other places before. So let me see. This year, this is the picture of the pool. That's what they're calling a pool at the Invincible Park in Liberia. That's like considered like a national park because the president dedicated this. And the first time they kept talking about that, and I kept saying, wait a second, is there is there's like an irrigation system for the pool or something? And I couldn't say it. But then and when I kept on looking at different posts, and I said, wait a second, that is the pool? That looks like, irrigation system, or look like a drainage, gutters. But that is what considered a pool. That's not even what is considered a pool, because Liberia has, they have, like middle class or upper class and all that. And they know what a pool is. We've had, places where they have pools in there. The government officials and all that have their major pools in their backyard and all. Okay, so they know what a pool is. So it's not like they don't know what a pool is. They know what a pool is. Okay, excuse me. So and I saw that, and then it's sitting there, and it's not. I mean, I don't know what guidelines they go by. Then again, there's like regulations. Is not something that's totally enforced over there. So I don't know what kind of regulation or what guidelines. So that doesn't fall on any guidelines considered a pool. I showed that to my son, who's a lifeguard, who he did his lifeguard thing last year, and he's like, "Is that even legal?" And I was like, well, I guess so. The president dedicated it, so it must be legal. But you can tell, like I said, you can drown with in one less inch of water, foot of water. So and I saw the picture and I saw the video where all these kids were there. There was so many kids, so many children in the water all at one time, varying ages. And then I don't know if there was a lifeguard that was just pulling people out of the water. I don't know the reason. I don't know if that was a parent of a child, a couple of children, or if that was the lifeguard and he saw them going under. I mean, you would think, and it's not a pool. Everybody's there. I don't know if they're treating the water. I know my son used to go early in the morning and he had to do all the treatment of the water, and check the pH balance and make sure the chemicals and everything keep everywhere clean. And he had to check the water every hour. If there's anything, he had to like shut down the pool. He's CPR certified. He's a first aid certified, background check, and all that to make sure anybody who's taking care of your kids at the pool that they're safe to be working at the pool. Nothing is 100% guaranteed, but at least you have that. So, and I see there, and I don't know if they're cleaning that pool. And the fact that if there's not, I mean, I didn't see any drainage system, I didn't see anything else. I haven't seen it completely except on camera where everybody else seen it. So it's like it's just, I mean, it's like a petri dish, just waiting for people to get for children to get infected. I mean, there's waterborne illnesses. You're talking about people going in there, like, yeah, God forbid, diarrhea. And also, like I talked about dry drowning, where people, you look at little kids. I saw the little ones, I think about 1 or 2 years old, underneath there, while the other bigger kids. You would think that, okay, fine, you want to make this a pool. You think you would make something that up to standard in a national park. And this is not like talking against the president or talking about the current government. Anybody, if you're going to do something and you say that's a national park, why not just do the best? Why not? I mean, why not just do a real pool? That's not a pool. It's not even safe. Look at the edges. They're so hard. And pools, you just really clean. Are they cleaned it before? Are they cleaned after? How do you even manage when you have so many kids in there at one time? Why not say, okay, today, Monday, fine. Today's Monday. This age, from age 1 and 2, would be in the water together. And first, you have to have your lifeguard and all. This day, 3 and 4, 3 to 5, so that way at least you can have some semblance of normalcy or something that says safety and all. And people see that, and when they talk about it, and people say, oh, well, the children are happy and that's all that matters. Of course, they're children. I mean, when we were little, we used to, like, we got in the car, we didn't have the seatbelt, we rode in the back of pickup truck, we did all this different thing. There were other health practices that were not safe. Okay, but as children, we didn't know. But it's incumbent upon us, who are the adults and are the professionals, and who, most of these people, like I said, they have pools in their backyard. So it's not like they say, oh yeah, they haven't seen anything before, so they just decided, let's just build this. It's incumbent upon us to keep the children safe, whether it's our children or children, other children. And you're talking about a country that has limited health resources. Okay. So I don't know, they have a pediatric hospital there. I doubt it. Okay. And even if you go to the hospital, you have to, some people don't, the lack of access to the hospital. And then again, you have to have money in some places. You have to have money to go to the emergency room. So if your child is like sitting there and having some issues where they haven't been, they're coughing, they're having fever, they're having diarrhea, like rashes, ringworms, everything, like serious thing that could land them in ICU, and they have that and they can't do it. So why not just build a regular pool so you can prevent all that? Because the thing is, if you have limited of this, you don't do something that's so mediocre, that's not even considered mediocre, it's less than mediocre, and expose children to unnecessary danger, unnecessary and diseases, infectious diseases. Why do that? I mean, and then you talk about something, people say, oh yeah, you're just on Facebook, and you Facebook politician, or you Facebook this, you need to come back home and do this. And I've heard other people who went back home. This lady was on, and she had this very high position before, and she was there trying to make changes in healthcare, and everybody's like, oh no, you're not gonna be able to change things, and it made her life really miserable, and she left. And she's not the only story. So they always tell you, you go to Liberia, you either join the corruption there or you get frustrated and leave. You're not going to go there and go make a dent in saying you're making things so much better, because people have the investor interest to keep things the way they are. So if you go in there, you just, but when I saw that, it's just so upsetting. It's so upsetting to see that, when the potential of so many things that could go wrong, and you look at that, and then people say, "Oh no, you're just talking against the president. You're just talking against the president." Why? The president has a pool. He knows what a pool is. And all those people who in the government, they've been abroad. They know what, they've seen pools before. So this is not, again, it's not to say that they don't know what a pool is. Why expose all those children to stuff like that? Why expose the children to potential dangers like that, knowing for well you have limited health resources? But when you come, people, anything you say, then you're not patriotic enough, and you're not this. And I had made it fun saying my son could go there and go help out, you know, because I'm sure I didn't see any lifeguard. I look at the pictures and I didn't see any lifeguards. Yeah, and you're hiking. It's not even safe to have a lifeguard there when you have everybody in the brother in the pool at one time. And I saw this guy just plucking out children back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna pull that child's arm up or something. So if you're not going to make it the right way, at least to say, again, have it a way where this group will swim today, this group will swim tomorrow, and go on from there, as opposed to just having everybody on at one time, and it's not safe. When you know it for what you have your own pool at your house, and you're having a good time, and your children are safe. But that was just my commentary on the pool thing. Okay. So once again, going back, you know, making sure you follow all those tips and all that, go back and watch that. And you can also speak to your pediatrician and also to your doctors to get more safety tips at the pool. And this is my summer series. So I'll be doing mostly summer things and things that have to do with vacationing and all that for the next couple of months. Okay. Because sometimes I'll come in a little something else, but I just want to do something that has to do with summertime. So again, thank you all for watching. Until we meet again, I'll be back on Friday with Friday Chat with Abby. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your love and support over the years. Please, for anybody who has any kind of power or knows anything in Liberia, if you can talk to people and just say, just build a pool. Just build a pool. Okay, build several pools so you don't have so many children coming out to one place. Okay, and then get lifeguards. And if you need any kind of tips and all that, get the tips on how to keep people safe. All right. So thank you all for watching. All right. And until I see you guys again on Friday, stay safe and be well. Thanks for watching. For those of you who are watching now, I say thank you. For those of you who will be watching later, I say thank you. So good night and God bless.